Getting giddy because normally when I do Radio 2 it's 12 o'clock and it's midnight and there's never anybody to look at, and yet I have been surrounded by a group of gorgeous people. Everybody shout hello.
Hello.
We're going to hear from Bastille after this. Morning, Bastille. Thank you so much for joining me. I was just saying, normally I'm all by myself, but we've been surrounded. Thank you for fitting us in because you are here, there and everywhere.
Thanks for having us. It's nice to be back.
So you've been in Norway, you're off to Glasgow, you're coming back to London. What's the schedule this weekend?
Yeah, we were in Norway the other night and just got back yesterday, and then we're off to play Transmit Festival in Scotland this evening.
Now, for a group of people who travel all the time, you guys were excited about getting on the train.
Yeah. It's just so calm, you know. It'll be nice
to coffee, get some sweets in, play some card games,
look at the view, pretend we're in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You know, what's not to like?
I know Dermot is going to be absolutely gutted to miss you because he sort of obviously you guys came in here right at the very beginning. He sort of claims that he's part of the success. You get a lot of that, people jumping on your coattails.
I'm not
Wow.
What do you really think?
It's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
I guess we'd be massively flattered if he thought that. And yeah, I feel we just released our third album. We feel so lucky to still be allowed to release music and get to do things like this. So yeah, it's nice.
So we're going to have 2 tracks from the third album.
Yeah.
Which came out 14th of June.
It did, yeah. So almost a month ago.
So, but it has been non-stop for you guys. I want to talk about Glastonbury because that went down so well. You played Pyramid Stage.
Oh, it was mental. Yeah.
I mean, that for us was like, because we kind of see ourselves like a Glastonbury band anyway. So we kind of played from the very, very smallest little campfire stage right up to the Pyramid. It's just like an absolute dream come true.
And I feel like if we keep telling everyone we're a Glastonbury band, maybe that'll stick. Yeah. But it's nice. I guess like with everything we've done, from the very beginning, when we started out, we were, we did everything ourselves, and we were touring, in all with our stuff dumped in the back of a car, and we sort of worked our way up through all the venues, and it sort of feels like we did that, like Woody said, at Glastonbury, from the tiniest sort of pop-up stages through John Peel up to like other stages, and then to get to play on Pyramid on a Friday afternoon. It's just the best festival in the world, and we come from we're in a very lucky position to have been able to actually go to quite a lot of the festivals around the world, and not just because it's like my favourite, and it was not just because it was our 10th, my 10th year having gone as a punter, but it's just such an amazing weekend. So yeah, it was wonderful. It was amazing. We had some gospel singers who sang on the album with us in a brass section, and a bunch of Lewis Capaldi came out to sing a song with us, and a guy called Rationale, who's an amazing singer. So it just felt like a real, I guess for us, having had this slightly mad couple of months leading up to our album release, getting to have that as a sort of almost like the icing on the cake. It was awesome. And also I'm not the most positive of people, and I came off stage smiling, and all of our crew were like, "Are you all right? What's wrong with your face? What is this?"
But that sort of feeds into joy because that's going to be the first song that you play for us this morning. But am I right in thinking that you wrote this a while ago but thought it was too positive for Bastille?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's not actually. It's quite a depressing song. It's just it's wrapped up in what sounds like. It sounds like positive stuff, but we wanted for the album. It's set over this course of this night out, and it's kind of exploring a lot of. It's all about trying to escape the world when it feels quite intense, and when you're like scrolling through your phone or whatever and reading the news, and we wanted it to have a happy ending. So joy, it just felt like a nice sentiment to finish on after all the doom and gloom.
And there's a whole nod in it to who you call, to sort of pick you up. Who do you call? Like when you have, because you guys have had some massive moments, 2 #1 albums, billions of streams, millions of records bought. You're huge in America, huge here. When you get those big moments, who do you call? Who is the person? Is it mum? Is it dad? Is it neighbour? Is it dog?
David Hasselhoff. he simply won't answer.
You just keep calling him.
Yeah.
I mean, and by call, I mean tweet him incessantly for 4 days.
But it works because it brings you down a peg, and that's what you need.
We did bully David Hasselhoff into following me on Twitter because he followed Woody inexplicably, and I was like, "Well, David Hasselhoff," and I got our fans just to bombard him with tweets.
Did you?
And then he follows me now.
Perfect.
I love the Hoff.
I wasn't expecting you to go there. Okay, I thought you were going to say something like that. Right, let's hear Joy then.
Okay. Enough talking.
Thought I'd never be waking on the kitchen floor, but here I lie, not the first time. Now my morning has broken, and it brings the fear my mind's falling. Then I feel my pulse quickening, but regrets can't change anything. Yeah, I feel my pulse quickening when your name lights up the screen. Oh, joy, when you call me, I was giving up. Oh, I was giving in. Joy set my mind free. I was giving up. Oh, I was giving in. How'd you always know when I'm down? How'd you always know when I'm down? Take a walk through the wreckage, clearing out my head. Hear your eyes roll right down the phone. I'm your walking disaster. Keep on dragging me from self-pity. Pour me, then I feel my pulse quickening, but I wouldn't change a thing. Oh, joy, when you call me, I was giving up. Oh, I was giving in. Joy set my mind free. I was giving up. Oh, I was giving in. How'd you always know when I'm down? How'd you always know when I'm down? As the night dissolves into this final frame, you're a sweet relief. You save me from my brain, from my brain, from my brain, from my brain. Oh, joy, when you call me, I was giving up. Oh, I was giving joy. Set my mind free. I was giving up. Oh, I was giving in. How'd you always know when I'm down? How'd you always know when I'm down? I feel joy. I feel joy. You call me. I feel joy. I feel. How'd you always know when I'm down? How'd you always know when I'm down?
I clapped before when you were sort of doing your sound check, and I said, "Oh, do you not do that?" And your guys are like, "No, not normally." I was like, "All right." As I said before,
Just a single
normally.
slow clap.
Yeah, just me. Right, well, great. I mean, when you perform that, you have a full choir. How did that come about?
So we did last year. We just after we finished recording what we thought was going to be the album, we did a tour called Reorchestrated, where we took all of our songs from our first couple of records and mixtapes, and did them totally stripped back, but with an orchestra, a brass section, a big string section, and this gospel choir. And we just got on a couple of buses and went around the UK and around Europe for a couple of weeks, playing shows in concert halls, and we ended up at the Royal Albert Hall, which was like, just, I guess, not something we ever thought we'd be allowed to do. And it was
like my grandparents ever after guest list. It's like, oh, you got a real job and a real gig now. Okay.
yeah.
This music phase, you're still doing it? Grandparents do that, don't they?
And I guess just playing every night with these amazing sort of classical and gospel musicians, it definitely made us, particularly the gospel element, it made us want to kind of bring a bit of that into the album. Because the album's sort of set over the course of this night out, and we wanted it to feel populated with different voices and different people, like any night would be, with people wandering in and out. So, yeah, we sort of roped them in, and they just completely lift. That song in particular, I think is just elevated by their amazing voices. So.
No, it's beautiful. I've obviously seen you do that a few times, and it's hypnotic to watch, isn't it? You talk about the Royal Albert Hall. Your next tour, very, very different. I mean, I'm looking down the list. You've got Carlisle, my hometown. Very happy about that. But completely different thing altogether. Little venues, different approach.
Yeah, well, we kind of feel like with every tour we do, we want it to be a bit different to the last one and to sort of justify itself. And this album is a kind of, in some ways, like a nighttime record, and it tells a story, and we thought it would be really fun having done a sort of bigger tour earlier in the year and having done the Reorchestrated thing, to do these little club nights in towns that people don't often visit on tour just because of like venue sizes and stuff, and to explore the different corners of the UK via some different venues, and go along us lot, play the album, and get some sort of DJs involved and put on these sort of party nights basically.
I thought you meant townspeople don't visit at all, like just avoid them, like that. You're going to stay away from there. Lots of things I like about you, but I heard a wicked rumour that Buckfast is on your rider. Is that true?
Oh yeah,
Devon's finest export.
I thought I was the only person in the world who liked Buckfast. Never ask for a Buckfast in Soho House.
What?
Tell us more. Why?
What happened?
that's gone on my gravestone.
Literally, they thought I was joking. I was like, oh, yeah, and I'm hilarious. Yeah, oh, no, I really want that. No.
Hilarious, but can I have one, though?
Yeah. No, you can't. They don't let you have one.
Nightmare. Well, at least we know for next time to bring our own.
Yeah, always.
That always goes down well, right?
Right, next track you're going to play for us, Another Place.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I am bound to you with a tie that we cannot break, with a night that we can't replace. I'm lost but found with you in a bed that we'll never make. It's a feeling we always chase. I could write a book about the things that you said to me on the pill, and the way you think and how you make me feel. You can fill my mind and move my body with the fiction fantasies. Just call us what it is, we don't pretend it's real. So don't make promises to me that you're gonna break. We only ever wanted one thing from this. Don't pay wonderful lies on me that wash away. We only ever wanted one thing from this. Oh, in another place, in another time, what could we have been? Oh, in another place, in another time, what could we have been? In another time and in another place. Lie to me tonight and pretend till the morning light and imagine that you are mine. Cause when the sun will rise, with the truth coming out your eyes, we'll be good in another life. I could write a book about the things that you said to me on the pillow, and the way you think and how you make me feel. You could fill my mind and move my body with the fiction fantasies. Just call this what it is, we don't pretend it's real. So don't make promises to me that you're gonna break. We only ever wanted one thing from this. Don't pay wonderful lies on me and wash away. We only ever wanted one thing from this. Oh, in another place, in another time, what could we have been? Oh, in another place, in another time, what could we have been? Felt like something special, but it never felt like love. Wonder what we could be living in another life. Get yourself in the mirror and it looks a lot like love. Then you stop me talking as you kiss me from above. So only ever wanted one thing from this. Don't play wonderful lies on me to wash away. We only ever wanted one thing from this. Oh, in another place, in another time, what could we have been? Oh, in another place, in another time, what could we have been? Oh, yeah. In another time and in another place.
And I'm doing it again. I know it's not the done thing, but that's my thing now. Will can't make eye contact with me. Was it a bucket of Buckfast last night?
It was a few old fashions.
That's all right. No judgment here.
There was eye contact.
It's Friday night. You've had a good
Intense, I
time.
looked away.
I look too intense.
You're like,
I'm not used to having people this close to
Yeah,
me.
sorry, it's weird. We're like standing over you, watching you do your job.
Well, no, it's not really a job. I just talk out loud. Big weekend. Don't tell anyone that. Big weekend. Tomorrow. Your birthday, Dan. The Cricket World Cup.
Yes,
And
final.
And a festival. What is your focus going to be on, Woody?
Mixture. Well, I mean, as a professional, naturally, it's just my job. I mean, there are things like iPads you could secrete somewhere on the stage to keep an eye on the cricket, but you know,
It's definitely not like Woody's got an iPad stand lined up on his drum kit just in case it's still going on while we're playing a gig.
I mean, I'm not saying that's not the case, but yeah,
That's just being patriotic.
yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Well, what are you going to do for your birthday? Play a gig?
Yeah, yeah, we're doing a gig. It's nice because it's in London and that's where like most of us live. So it'll be like, friends and family come along. You know, we might have a drink afterwards. Who knows? Probably not.
A couple of shandies, you know.
Yeah, but yeah. We play at kind of 6:30 to 7:30. So it's quite a nice early finish for us. Normally we're off stage at like 11. So it's it'll be fun.
Does UK festival season give you guys a chance to see friends and family? Because you're in America so much, you're all over the place. Is this kind of a chance to check in?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I guess festival season's amazing because as fans we get to go to a lot of festivals and we just watch lots of other artists and bands that we want to see. But also, yeah, it's nice to be. It's like tour flipped on its head because we're sort of home for the beginning of the week and then we're away on the weekend playing sort of festivals in different places, and it's a real nice way to mix it up. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's kind of like a good balance. Like obviously, yeah, away at the weekends, home of the week, and yeah, it's
Like
just
a classic reversed working week.
You've got an army of fans, so many messages flooding in for you. How can you ask Bastille if they would come and play at Pembroke Castle? It's a fantastic venue. They just had Bonnie Tyler, Sister Sledge and Gabrielle. Pretty please, says Juliet.
Yeah,
yes.
sure. I mean, just if they want to call and book us, we'll come play the castle.
Joe from Hampshire says, you might not want to hear this, Bastille, but I'm nearly 50. I'm a mum of 2 and I'm new to the band. She's welcome in your army, right?
Of course, yeah. Come join. Thanks so much
aboard.
for listening.
She says, joy gives me the biggest smile ever. Well done, boys.
Amazing. Oh, but we're very happy to hear that. Thank you.
Sounding perfect as always on BBC Radio 2. What a way to start the weekend. Thank you so much, says Amanda via Twitter. The messages go on and on and on. You have such a loyal base of fans, but you have such a huge following in America as well. Do you find the reaction is different from people in America?
Good question.
sometimes like they're quite vocal and interactive. Sometimes at really inappropriate times.
Yeah, they love a chat.
Yeah, like that. Like we're like mid song, and they're like they try and talk to Dan, or they're like pointing at me like have a drumstick. It's like I'm literally using them right now.
Oh.
Like, afterwards, yeah, but
it's I guess getting to tour in America is I feel very fortunate. It's obviously just such a vast and varied country. It's you're like traveling a continent, but whenever we go, we always try and do and see as much stuff as possible. So yeah, we're off for a couple of months later in the year. Yeah, so we'll come back to you and tell you how the response is.
But they're willing to wear adult nappies, that American audience.
They are, yeah. Well, this is the thing. So in New Year's Eve, we played in Times Square for their sort of big New Year's Eve TV show thing. And it was pouring with rain. We were playing in the middle of Times Square, which is obviously very surreal. But the crowd who've been there, they get there at sort of 4 or 5 in the morning in queue all day. But once they're in. You can't take any food or drink in, and there's no toilets. So I was like, what is everyone doing? And totally straight faced, the person that produced the show was like, adult diapers. And I was like, I don't know how to respond to that. And then when they came to interview us after the show, Ryan Seacrest comes up, all like very sort of shiny, and is like, how do you feel about having just played Times Square on New Year's Eve? And I just couldn't think of anything to say. I was like, I just want to shout out to everyone wearing adult diapers. And he was like, and the interview's over. And he walked straight off. So that went well, yeah.
I love that you went, their New Year's Eve thing. Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve is one of the biggest things on American television. They talk about it in Friends and everything.
I know.
That is kudos. Well done, guys. Thank you so much for coming in.
thanks for having us.
Good luck with Glasgow. Good luck tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed for the cricket.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if people want to see you later in the year, they can find everything out from your website?
Yeah. We've got potentially a couple of other slightly bigger shows to add at the end of the year, which we're very excited about. So, yeah, come join us. Come join us on tour.
And buy Doom Days.
Yes, Doom Days.
Yes.
Our new album. We're super proud of it, and thanks to everyone that's listened to it so far. But yeah, go have a listen.
And joking aside, Dermot and the wider Saturday Breakfast Show are very proud and very, very grateful to have an association with you. So thank you for coming in, guys. Lovely to see you
Thanks
all.
so much.
Charlie and Will, who are absolute die-hard Country File fanboys and holding it together very well right now.
We have links to Penrith, and so we're probably related. So
Nice.